You open your mouth. Your eyes narrow. Your lungs fill. And for a moment, time slows down. You yawn. It feels instinctive, natural, harmless. But behind that simple gesture hides one of the most misunderstood mysteries of the human body. Yawning is ancient. It's universal. And it refuses to explain itself. We do it when we're tired, bored, anxious, or even just after seeing someone else do it. But why? Why does our brain trigger such a strange combination of breathing, stretching, and disconnection? And why is it so contagious? For centuries, yawning was treated as a trivial behavior, an idle reflex of fatigue. But modern science suggests something deeper, something primal, something linked to survival, social bonding, and maybe even the core of consciousness itself. Let's begin with the basics. Yawning usually happens when we're sleepy or bored. At first glance, it seems to be a signal. I'm tired. But this explanation quickly falls apart. We yawn in the morning. We yawn before intense activities. Athletes yawn before competitions. Soldiers have been observed yawning before battle. Even fetuses yawn in the womb long before they feel tired. Clearly, yawning is not just about sleep. One theory says yawning helps regulate brain temperature. When the brain overheats, even slightly, its efficiency drops. Yawning forces a deep inhalation of cool air, increasing blood flow to the skull and helping to cool neural tissue, like a biological fan. This could explain why we yawn more in warm environments, during stress, or after long periods of mental effort. Another idea suggests yawning plays a role in increasing alertness. By stretching facial muscles and stimulating airflow, yawning may improve blood circulation and help bring the brain to a more focused state. This would explain why we yawn before something important, like a test, a competition, or even before speaking in public. Our bodies may be trying to sharpen awareness in moments of transition, but here's where things get strange. Yawning is contagious. We see someone yawn. We feel the urge. Sometimes even reading the word yawn is enough to trigger one. You might be fighting one right now. But what makes this strange reflex contagious? The answer may lie in mirror neurons, special brain cells that activate both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else doing it. These neurons are linked to empathy, social awareness, and emotional mirroring. When you see someone yawn, your brain partially becomes them, syncing with their state. Contagious yawning is stronger among people who are emotionally close. Friends, family, partners. It happens less between strangers and almost never between humans and non-social animals. In this sense, yawning becomes a silent form of empathy. A wordless connection. A neurological handshake. Even some animals show this trait. Chimpanzees, dogs, wolves, and even some birds have been observed catching yawns from humans and each other. This suggests yawning isn't just physiological, it's social, and possibly evolutionary. In ancient groups, synchronized yawning could have helped signal transitions. It's time to rest, time to wake, time to be alert. A form of nonverbal coordination. A group that yawns together survives together. Creates rhythm, cohesion, unity. But yawning doesn't only occur in the calm. It also appears in moments of high tension, before a test, a speech, a jump from a plane. Some psychologists believe it's a regulatory mechanism. Yawning reduces cortisol, cools the brain, slows the heartbeat. It calms the system, resets the body, prepares for what comes next. Still, no single theory explains everything. The temperature theory doesn't explain the social contagion. The empathy theory doesn't explain yawning in fetuses. The stress regulation theory doesn't explain why blind people yawn when they hear someone do it. It's one of those rare phenomena where every explanation is partially true and yet incomplete. Some neuroscientists suggest yawning might be connected to state transitions in consciousness. Between sleep and wake, focus and distraction, stress and calm. It's like a physiological punctuation mark in the sentence of the mind. A comma, a reset, a breath between chapters. And what about those long, exaggerated yawns? The kind that stretch your face and spine, that leave you momentarily stunned. They're called pandiculations, a full-body neurological reset. Not just oxygen, not just cooling, but a rebalancing of muscular and mental tension. The yawn and the stretch together may be the body's most honest language. Even in spiritual traditions, yawning is sometimes seen as a gateway, a subtle opening between states. Moments when the conscious mind softens and the unconscious peeks through. Shamans have described yawns as release points. In some cultures, they're signs of spiritual cleansing. In others, warnings of a spirit passing nearby. There are even ancient superstitions surrounding the act of yawning. Some believed that the soul could escape during a yawn, requiring others to cover it with a blessing or a gesture, like covering the mouth. The fear was that in the vulnerable moment of yawning, something else might enter. Today we laugh at that. But still, we instinctively cover our mouths. Recent studies have also explored whether excessive yawning could be an early indicator of neurological conditions like multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's disease. These findings are still in their infancy, but they suggest that yawning might reveal hidden patterns in brain activity, an involuntary signal that something deeper is shifting beneath the surface. In another curious twist, astronauts in microgravity environments also yawn, but the physiological purpose changes. In zero gravity, breathing patterns alter, blood pools differently, and body temperature regulation becomes more complex. Even in space, the body holds on to yawning as if it's too ancient to let go. Modern medicine doesn't go that far, but it agrees on one thing. We don't fully understand yawning, and that's rare. In an age where we've mapped the brain, decoded the genome, walked on the moon, a simple daily act still escapes our grasp. Perhaps that's what makes yawning so human. It connects physiology with psychology, emotion with instinct, solitude with community. It is uninvited, unstoppable, and strangely intimate. When you yawn, you expose your vulnerability. You let your guard down. You pause. You return to something ancient, something older than language, older than logic. So the next time you yawn, notice it. Feel it. Observe how your body shifts, how your mind resets, how for a moment you are not thinking or deciding, you're simply being. And if someone nearby yawns in return, maybe it's not just mimicry. Maybe it's the nervous system saying, I feel you. I'm with you. We're still part of the same tribe. A quiet reminder that, in a world of complexity and noise, some of the greatest mysteries still live in the smallest, simplest gestures.